Okay, with Siyata Dishmaya, we continue learning for the schus of the Chayalim, for ourselves to bring more ore for the Chatufim, for our connection to the Ribbon Shalom to help out Am Yisrael. So Daf Yud Beis Amud Aleph, we had started the Breita that talked about Mishnah. In Maseches Tamid that talked about the skan. It was a Mishnah in Maseches Tamid that talked about the skan called the Mimuneh, that he made a bracha achas, and we finished talking about what was the bracha achas, whether it was Yotzer or Avarabba, and now we're in the continuation of that brisa. And it says V'hem baruchu v'karu aser dibros on top of Yud Beis Amud Aleph, a couple lines down. Shema v'yim shmo v'yomer emes v'yatziv v'avoda berchas kohanim. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel af begvulin bikshu likros kain. And the Gevulin outside of the Beis HaMikdash, they also started asking to read the Aseres Dibros. They said no, because the Tarum is literally the complaints of the Minim Apikoros, very important Rashi, and a beautiful Rav Kook also. Rashi says, Shalo Yomru La'amei Haaretz, in Shara Torah Emes. The rest of the Torah is not Emes. V'teidu she'en koren ela masha amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'sham mipiv b'Sinai. Right? So they're going to say the only thing that's important is the Aseres Dibros, which has the Yisodos of Kol Torah. But they're going to say that's the only thing that's important. But we're going to say no. We read what HaKadosh Baruch Hu told us, and we heard from Har Sinai, and that's all of it. The Rav Kook explains basically the same idea, that the Tarumas Haminim is, they say, look, the main thing is the Deos. Where our head is screwed on straight. We have the Ekronot. We have the Ekronot there. But Rav Kook says beautifully in Einayah, he says that Haminim Toim Be'amram, that the Tachlis is the Ruach HaTorah, i.e. the Deot Amitiyot Shalah, the Midos Tovos. They make a difference between the Devarim Ikarim L'Datam, which is the basis of the Deos, versus the Shar Ma'asim and Mitzvot. But they have a big mistake, because they think that that's the deot. Again, these principles or these foundations are just the final purpose. But it's not the final purpose. You have to live, both in klal and prat, on the deot and midot tovot shebetorah. And there you need all the ma'asim of the Torah kulam, which is margil la'am kulo b'derech chayim. And if you're mevatel one small chelik min Torah befoal, the deos that you'll have, first of all, you make a bifurcation between the deot and the chayim. And the chayim, you'll start living kifi ratzon adam, how you see it. And tibatel chalila, slowly but surely, the whole tachlis haTorah bechalal, which you didn't intend to, ki Hashem diber, shedvaro kayum la'ad olam. And the minim that are complaining about the mitzvot ma'asiyot, they think it's just a waste, it's a burden. Because for them, they think of just about the deot, but it's a mistake, says Rav Kook. Again, it's minatevotanu. It is directing us, both in klal darchei chayim, and the maasim pratim needs to be al pi Torat Hashem. And without that, the deot can't really do what they're supposed to do. And if v'hemshech hazman, Rav Kook even says, little bit by little bit, through the hergel, the maasim, according to Ritzon Chofshi, through this bifurcation, then the Deot Torot will also get sullied, and then the Deot will be forgotten. V'lo yitkayim davar mehem. But the Shomrei Torah, what do we say? We say in Yeshayahu, we say Ruchi Asher Alecha, and through we have that Ruach of the Inyan Klalim. Then we say Udvarai Asher Samti V'ficha, which is the Ma'asim Pratim, that Lo Yomush V'picha. These Pratim we have to continue doing them. Sheina Leiv Zochram Me'atzma B'teva, right? And therefore, then it's Me'atav Yad Olam Yitkaimu Brit Olam. It's also an amazing Rashi also, that's quoted in the Steinsaltz edition for sure. He says the minim, I think they're censoring about this, but in the Steinsaltz it says the Goyim of Talmidei Yeshu. Right? So who are these Apikoros and who are these Tarumas Aminim? So the Gemara continued, just going back. We had said, Amar Vidar Marshmuel, Af Gvulin, Bikshul Likros Kain, El Shakvar Bitlum Mnei Tarum Saminim. Tani Nami Hach, Rav Nasan Amar Begvulin, Bikshul Likros Kain, El Shakvar Bitlum Mnei Tarum Saminim. Rabbi Rav Chana Savar LeMikvenu in Surah. Amalei Rav Chizda, Kvar Bitlum Mnei Tarum Saminim. It's very interesting how in every like Chutz La'aretz community they try to do this. When the Ravashi kvar bitlam mnei terumas amina. Then the Gemara says, "Uve Shabbos," the continuation of the Mishnah Maseches Tamid and Daf Lamed Bet. Uve Shabbos mosifin bracha achas lemishmar hayotze. What bracha are they adding? My bracha achas. Amar Rav Chaba mishmar hayotze. Omer lemishmar nechnas. The mishmar hayotze is saying to the mishmar nechnas, Mi sheshikein et shmo b'bayit hazeh, that who dwells the bracha in this house, hu yashkim b'nechem. He, meaning HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He will dwell with amongst you, Ava v'achva v'shalom v'reis, which sounds like a beautiful bracha. And Tosfos says, like, with all due respect, Tema K'tzas, the second Tosfos, one-liner, he says, Maihi hova let's pay lo shevel amachos. We're going to see later on, Machlokas within Rabbi Yochanan, and also Rav, that says if a bracha, whether it doesn't have shame, doesn't have malchus, it's not a bracha. So he says, what type of bracha is this? It's a good question of Tosfos. Got to continue doing research on that. The Gemara continues. And had said that the Mishnah, our Mishnah had said that makom shamru laharich in a bracha you can't be makater, etc. And within that there gets to be a very important discussion. The Gemara says, Pshita, if I'm holding heicha de kanok kisa de chamra biyade, I'm holding a cup of wine in my hand. Uksavar, and I think it's beer. Or uksavar the shachru. So and therefore I start saying a shakel on das of shakel. Posach mavarach hadaita de shechra. But then I realized, oops, it's wine. So I ended up with a bori perigafim. V'siyim b'chamra, that I'm yotzi. Why? V'siyim b'chamra yotza. Because even though I started with the shakel, even if I would have finished with the shakel, I'm yotzi. Tinami, mamar shakel, niyabedvar yotzi. Ta'atanan, because the Mishnah says, akulam, imamar shakel, niyabedvar yotzi. And I always like to quote the Shulchan Aruch Harav and Siman Rav, that Mishnah is misquoted. It doesn't mean that I should always lecharchila say, okay, you know what, I don't know anything. Let me go say shakel. No, it's only if you haven't learned and you don't have a rabbi around. But nowadays we have a rabbi around. You ask a question to any one of your rabbis based on WhatsApp. There's no reason, and that's why this whole thing is really b'di'evet sheb'di'evet. Imamar, if b'di'evet you didn't realize, then akulam imamar shakel nibidvaro yatsa, and that's the siman. It's siman Rav. Rav is like the rabbi. Back to the Gemara. I'm holding a cup of beer in your hand. Uksavar the chamru, and I thought it is wine. So pasach the chamra, I started making the bracha on the das that it's bar peragafen, but I see him at the shachar, but then I ended off the shachar. My, what's the halacha? Do we go basar ikar bracha zlinan? Do we go by the beginning of it, or basar chasim azlinan, or do we go at the end? And here, okay, at the end again, I said shahakol. Right, and that's what it was. But the whole time I thought it was Bore Pri Hagaf, and that's what I started with. So Tashma, let's bring a proof, which is connected to our Mishnah. Shachris, it's the morning. Now Pasach, I started with Yotzer Or. I started with the correct bracha, the Yotzer Or, and then Siyem b'Ma'ariv Aravim. Right, so Lo Yatza Pasach b'Ma'ariv Aravim. I started with Ma'aravim, Siyem b'Yotzer Or, and I ended it correctly. Then Yatza, clearly. What the Gemara is going to talk about, and it's going to say it straight out, is that we go after the chasima. Right? Arvis, pasach ma'aravim, v'siyim b'yotzer or, lo yatza. Pasach b'yotzer or, v'siyim b'ma'aravim yatza. Klal shadavar lo kol olech achar chasum. So just like by the bracha of yotzer or, ma'ariv aravim, we say go after the chasum. So to in our case, by birchas hanenin, we should say go after the chasum. So the Gemara says no proof. You can't compare the two. Shani hasum, the kamar, where what happens? You said baruch yotzer ha'ma'oros. If you're saying Yotzer HaMe'oros, if you remember the, right, so we're saying Baruch Yotzer HaMe'oros, and since, right, look at what the Rashi says over here, Shani House, right, the, Klomar, Dilma Psicha Ina Klum, really, the Psicha is nothing. V'hadak Tani Yatza, that which we said, your Yotzer, it's the Fisha Choser V'choseim Ba Baruch Yotzer Ma'oros. Really, we don't care about the beginning. And the reason why you're Yotzer is because you went back and you were Choseim Baruch Yotzer Ma'oros. Vayidea Chasimasa Kamar the Yotza. Right? And through the Chasima you're Yotzer. Right? And then it says, Aval Shahakol She'in Choseim Ba Baruch Uptichata. There's no Choseim by Baruch of the Shakol. Upsichasa Adaita the Bar Priagafen. So then you can say there, you're not Yotze. So here, again, we're saying it's different than maybe we don't care about the Psicha, but you went back and you said, Baruch Yotzer HaMe'oros. Right? The Gemara says that could be good. Hanichal Rav, Damar Kol Bracha Shein Baskaras Hashem in a Bracha Shaper, because then you said the shame. Rav Yochanan Damar Kol Bracha Shein Bamalchus in Bracha Michael Meimar. So we're back to square one. Lakevan Damar Rabba Barula Kedei Lahasker Midas Yom Balayla Midas Laila Bayom Ki Kamar Bracha Umalchus Meikara Tarvayu Kamar, like we had mentioned yesterday, the whole mentioning of Midas Yom Balayla. So then the Shem Malchus will go on the beginning part. Right, so we said maybe the chasima shouldn't work. There's no malchus. We say no. Don't say just because of the chasima you're yotze, but the psicha is also good, right? And therefore, we can't learn for the birchas hanenin over there, because the main thing here by birchas marv and shachris, as we had said, is because of midas miskar yom, and you're yotze because you started off b'shachris adaita demariv aravim. Your das was to mention midas hayom balayla, like gol or. And then Pasach Arvis Adaita the Yotzor, right? You're going to mention Midas Halayla, Borei Choshech, and therefore your das goes for both of them. But again, we have no proof for the Birchas Hanenin. Tashma Miseifa Klalo Shadavar Hakol Elech Achar Chasim, right? So what's the Klal Shadavar Lasui Maya into our case of the Shakol and the Bar Priagafen? No. My love Lasui Ha the Amnon. We say the low. Asui in the case of bread and dates. Nam of a tamri. Hechidami, what's the case of bread and dates? Ilema, that I was eating bread and ksavar dates. And now achal upasachadaita the tamri. So I started saying the bracha of mein shalosh. Right? V'siyem, and I ended with bedenahama, and I ended with the bread. Hello, so we're not talking about the beforehand. Excuse me, right? I started with the bracha of tomorrow, and then I ended with lechem. Hello, hainu bayan. That's exactly our question. What says lo tzricha? We're not talking about that, but can go into achal tamra. I ate dates, uksavar nahama, and I thought it was bread. Achal upasach b'denahama, right? And then I started saying the bracha of lechem v'siyem b'diyasme. B'ditamre, and you finished with the Tamarim Yotze. Because in this case, even Afsiyim B'nama, Nami Yotze. Why my time? Because Tamri Nami Meizin Zaini. Right? The Tamrim are also Meizin. Therefore, if you made a Birkas Hamazon, like the bracha on the bread, even L'chachila, you don't have to do that. But L'maiser Yotze Dechova. And therefore, and this is the case, Hakol Alech Achar Achisum. And therefore, it's okay that even though I ate Tamarim, right? And I was messiahing by the bread. It's totally fine, right? That's the case. But what do we have? We don't have an answer yet for, it's a baya de lo ifshita. That's why there's a very important Tosfos. Tosfos says, Pirish Rav Alphys, Rif, hashta de lo ifshita baya nazlina lekula. Vafila pasach l'chamra, v'siyim b'shechra yatsa. So if I started with a bar priagafen, but then I realized I'm holding the sheicharam yotzei, because of Safek Brachos Lahakel, comes the Ri, second opinion in Tosfos di Rabas Chalol Asuye. Hayomer lechomer no tzarich levarich pam acheres. It's an unbelievable Reb Kiva Eger that's quoting the Marshan Meseches Psachim. It says, why would we not say here Safek Brachos Lahakel? V'lo shayich Safek Brachos Lahakel. Why is this? So he says beautifully, that's only by Birchos HaMitzvos, that the Brachos are not Ma'akev. But Birchas Hanenin, like we learned later on in the 6th parak, it's Asa Lechol B'lo Bracha, your mom is stealing from HaKadosh Baruch Hu K'nas Yisrael. We don't, and therefore there's no Chashash of Bracha Levatala. Because if I don't make a Bracha, it's Aser to drink. My mom is stealing. So here you would say it's not a Safek Brachos Lahakel. Pretty amazing Tosfos and the Shita of the Ri based on the Marshan Psachim also. Just to finish up today's Amud, Amar Rabba Rav Chinas Abba Shmei the Rav Kol Shalo Amar Emes V'Yatziv Shachris and Emes V'Emuna in Mariv Lo Yatzi Dechova. So Shnemar Lagil Boker Chazdecha V'Emunas Chavadei Lot. In very important Rashi. What does it mean? So if you didn't say Emes V'Yatziv as Chazal Mermatakin in the morning and Emes V'Emuna at night as Chazal Mermatakin at Yotze, why? Says Rashi. Ubirchas Emes V'Yatziv. In the mornings, all the chesed that Hashem did for our forefathers. It took us out of Mitzrayim, split the sea, and it was Ma'avir, and we went through it. Berachas Emes V'Emunah is talking about the future, that we're hoping, Sheikayim Lanu Haftachaso V'Emunaso, to Legoel from the Yad Malachim, Yad Aritzim, L'Sum Nafsheinu B'Chaim, L'Adrichinu Mosavenu, Kol eila anisim atzidirim tamid kein yihi ratzon.